Hello, welcome back to BOOKMAS. Today is so exciting because we have a book haul. I feel like I do book hauls maybe too often. However, I love doing them. I love getting new books. It's a hobby in itself and I'm so excited to show you guys what I have. And look, I wasn't planning on showing you guys my outfit, but I got my Christmas socks on, so I feel like I have to. I feel like I have never done this angle for like a sit down video. Anyways, we have quite a few books. I honestly didn't even count them. This never goes well. I'm gonna drop these all. I'm also on like a spinning chair, so I keep spinning. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. I have some hot tea. Earl Grey with milk and sugar is my absolute favorite. Pause the video, go get yourself something to drink and a snack, and then we will get started. Okay, hope you did that. I'm not gonna do this in any particular order because I don't feel like organizing them, but we're gonna start with the book that is on the first stack, which I know. My roommate is a vampire. This book haul, by the way, is kind of collective from the last time I did a book haul, which honestly wasn't even that long ago. I always say this in my videos, but if you use my referral code for Fetch, you guys can get points. It's an app that you scan your receipts from any store you can think of. They will take your receipts and you get points, and points can go to gift cards. So I get so many books because I get Amazon gift cards and then I spend them on books. I meant to read this one in October and I didn't get to it, so I'm excited to read it next October, I guess. I don't know. But basically it's about a girl named Cassie and she lives in Chicago, which is so fun. I feel like I don't read books that take place in Chicago very often, and if you guys didn't know, I went to school there, so it'll be fun to read about it. And she's an artist, and obviously she has a very difficult time making a living, and she sees an ad for an apartment and it sounds like way too good to be true. She has a roommate and he basically sleeps all night. Never mind, that would be normal. She has a roommate and he basically sleeps all day and is awake all night. I might honestly read it not in October because it sounds like it would be cute and funny. The next book I got, I am so excited about, and I feel like you guys are going to be excited about this too. Binding 13. Oh my gosh. I can't even begin to tell you how many good things I have heard about this. Destiny alone like has convinced me to read this series. She is so obsessed with it, and one of my best friends, Mary Kay, also read this series, or she's in the middle of reading it, and she really recommends it, so I'm so excited. I've heard the font is very small, and it is, but it's on Kindle Unlimited and I love reading on my Kindle, so I'm so excited to read this. For those who don't know, this is the Boys of Tommen series. I don't know a whole lot about it. I love going into my books blind, but I've heard it's like a character study. So you're reading it not necessarily for the plot, but more for the characters, and you fall in love with these characters, and I'm pretty sure they live in Ireland. I don't know, but it has like a bunch of rugby in it, and I don't know, it just sounds so cute. I love character studies. I love books that are character driven and series where you fall in love with all the characters and get to read about them. So I'm really excited to read this. Oh my goodness. And then the next book, I feel like it's kind of out of my comfort zone, but honestly, I was so excited to get this. Like, I have a constant running list of books I want to buy, and this one I added recently and instantly got it because I'm so excited, and that's Phantasma by Kylie Smith. This book looks so good. I saw Sarah Caroli read this recently, and she absolutely loved it. It's a thick book, but again, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Nothing is better than when a book is on Kindle. What it's about, I don't really know. I think it's dark academia or it's fantasy. I get this one mixed up with Nocticadia. I've heard it compared to the Caraval series. So basically you enter into this game and few survive and make it out alive. But it just looks so cute. I love this cover. I don't know, it's kind of giving Christmas. Not really, but like the red. Tea break. And then I have a book by one of my very beloved authors, and that is Miss Frida McFadden. She writes some of, I was gonna say my favorite books, but I guess I would never consider one of her books my favorite. They're just so fun to read. They're very engaging and they keep me hooked. And honestly, I know a lot of people can always guess the endings. I can't. I don't know if I'm dumb or if I just don't pick up on clues very well, but I can never guess the endings, so she always has me fooled. And I'm just so excited to read another book by her. This is one of her newest releases. I honestly think I've read like 7 books by her at this point, and I really enjoy them. It's about a single woman living in New York, and she has terrible luck dating. And I guess it sounds like she's been going on these dates and she finds like the perfect guy, and then there's all these murders, and this guy is going on dates and then killing them. So I don't know, it sounds really good. And I kind of feel like it'll be fun reading about dating apps. If you guys didn't know, I met my boyfriend on a dating app, and he was the first date I ever went on off of a dating app, and now he's the absolute love of my life. It does work out. They're not all serial killers. Knock on wood. Then I have 2 books. I don't even know if they're similar, but somehow in my brain I always confuse them. I don't know why. The covers are kind of similar with the blues and the yellows and the pinks. I don't know, but both of these books I've heard really good things about. The first one is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. Oh my god, I like can't see anything because I'm using like a ring light and it's absolutely blinding me. So when I go to read these books, all I can see is the ring light. I'm like trying to like shield my eyes. It's about a woman who passes away, and in the waiting room of the afterlife she meets like the one, and so she gets a second chance at life, and she has 10 days to see if she can find him back on Earth. I don't know why, but this sounds so good. I've also heard really good things. I feel like I always say that, but I normally gravitate to books I've heard good things about rather than books I've heard bad things about, which is like something I feel like everyone does. I don't know. Next we have a novel love story by Ashley Poston. This is the same author as The 7-Year Slip and The Dead Romantics. The Dead Romantics I haven't read, but I have it on my like book wish list. I've been wanting to get it, I just haven't yet. This book is about a single woman, and she's on her way to like a book club meeting, and her car breaks down, and she finds herself in this cute little town, and she's like, oh my gosh, this seems like it's right out of a book. And that's because it is. It's the town from one of her favorite romance series, which sounds so cool. I always think like, I don't know, if I could be a character in one of my favorite books, what would it be? Magnolia Parks, probably. I would love to be in that world, although I feel like she would scare me in real life. But anyways, this looks so good. Then I have The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This one looks a little bit battered, and that's because I actually found it in one of those cute little libraries, and I wanted to include it in this haul because I got it recently. It's new to me. This book is about a couple, and they're getting married on like a remote island. Something happens, and you kind of get like the then and the now timelines, and each chapter is from a different character. You get to see all these different perspectives. I'm really enjoying it. Actually, I'm listening to it on audiobook right now, and I think this is my first Lucy Foley book. I was scrolling through my Goodreads trying to find which other Lucy Foley book I've read, because I could have sworn I've read her before. Like, I feel like so many of her books are really popular, but I don't think I have read any. I'm enjoying it, though I will say if I was reading this physically, I think I would have put it down just because the switching characters would get confusing, but because it's audiobook, they have different voices, and it's really nice to listen to when I'm driving to work. So I really like this one. And then we have A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. This is one of her older series, although I think it got like republished recently, so I picked up the first of the series. I love these covers. Elsie Silver has honestly the best covers ever. She is one of my favorite authors. I feel like she does small town romances so good. Her books are just so fun and they fly by. I don't know what it is about them, but they always go by so quick. I don't know what this book is about, and for some reason I really don't feel like reading the back of it, but I'm assuming it's a small town romance, and I just know it's going to be good because Elsie Silver is amazing. And then I picked up Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. Honestly, I'm gonna be so for real with you guys. One of the only reasons why I picked it up was because it has purple sprayed edges and I thought it was so cute. I just love the color combo. I have been wanting to read another Olivia Blake book. I read, what was it called? The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I didn't even read the rest in the series. I think there's 3 books out now. I'm not positive. I don't know. This one looked good. I think Sarah Caroli did this book for her like book club's pick for October, I believe. And it just intrigued me, honestly. I don't know what it's about. I don't want to know what it's about. The back of the book, just this like quick little blurb, says that there is a game that the immortals play and there's only one rule, which is don't lose. The next book I have is The X-Files by Jessica Joyce, and this is actually a signed copy. Look at that. I don't think I own a single signed copy book, and I've got to have like over 300 books. So this is my first. I'm really hoping I enjoy this book so that my first signed copy of a book is one I really like. But again, I've heard so many good things about this book. I love the cover. It just looks so pretty. You know what I was thinking when I was looking at this cover? I was like, wow, that could totally be Napa. Like, that looks like Napa. And I'm reading the back of the book. Guess where it takes place? Napa. Crazy, which is so fun because it's a few hours north of me, and it literally says it takes place in the Bay Area. And as someone who's from the Bay and never really reads books from the Bay, it's exciting, okay? It's about estranged exes and they must stick together to save their best friend's wedding after a string of disasters. It looks like it's a little second chance romance and I'm so excited. Let me just say, as someone who's been to Napa, it is one of the prettiest backdrops for a wedding ever. I've actually been to a wedding in Napa. It is stunning, gorgeous. So I feel like all the vibes, all the scenery in this book are gonna be so just absolutely perfect. Then I got a thick one, 11/22/63 by Stephen King. Look at this. I was hesitant going into this because if you don't know what it's about a guy who finds a portal, basically, where he can time travel. And he can go back to 1963. And he has been tasked with stopping JFK's murder. I am probably the biggest anti-history buff you will ever meet. I hated history in class. I don't really like learning about history. It's in the past. Leave it there. Not like actually, I know history is important. I just don't care about it. It's not something that ever really interests me. So I was hesitant going into this book, like, am I gonna like it? It's 850 pages that takes place in the 1900s. Not a big, you know, girl from the past. Haley Pham read this and she said it absolutely flies by. I have been listening to the audiobook. I actually had to stop for a while because my Spotify hours ran out, which is so irritating. But I'm so excited to continue it because I'm about 50% of the way through, I think. And this book has me hooked. Oh my God. This book, let me tell you, so good. So good. And it's not like scary. I don't know. Whenever I think of Stephen King, I always think of horror, thriller, gore, but that's really not the case with this book. And I'm starting to realize Stephen King writes a lot more than just those things. I think I just always associated him with like It and like The Pet Cemetery, but that's not all he writes. And it's amazing. There's romance, there's suspense. It is just so good, and you never know what's gonna happen next. So I really recommend this book, which is crazy. I don't think I ever thought I would have said that. Tea break. Next, this is a similar situation to My roommate is a vampire, and that is The Very Secret Society of I can't I can't see because of this light, so trying to read is really difficult. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. There we go. This one is basically about a witch who lives in a world where there's no magic, so she kind of has to like keep it under wraps, you know, not let anyone know she's a witch. And she receives a message where she's being requested to go to this house and teach witches like how to control their magic. This is another book that I really wish I got to because it sounds like it would be so good. I want to read it. It's just not the vibes anymore. The next book I have is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I already read it. I'm not gonna be picking up the next one. Womp womp. It took me like the first 20% to start like caring, and then I started to care, and then I started to get so bored again. Like most of the time I was so bored. It's basically about a woman, Emily, and she's creating an encyclopedia about different fairies. So she goes on like a fairy hunt, basically, is what it feels like. It's just very mundane. There's not a whole lot going on. There's not really a plot. And I know a lot of people really like this book, so I don't want to bash it too much. It just definitely wasn't for me. This is not the type of book that I enjoy. And as you can see, it's a pretty short book. It's like barely over 300 pages. And I think this took me like 2.5 weeks to read and definitely kept me in my slump. And then the next 4 books I have are pretty Christmassy. I picked this one up at Target very randomly. It's under 300 pages, which is exactly what a holiday book should be. Look at that. That's beautiful. Exes, professional rivals, just one bed. What could go wrong? So if I had to guess, we're going with the one bed trope. It's Christmassy. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna do a Christmassy reading vlog, so stay tuned for that. Then I have The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. This is another one I'm so excited about. I love this cover. I don't know what it is. I just absolutely love it. This is in the same little series as The X-Hex and The Kiss Curse, which it's basically about a town of witches. It's just so cute. I love this series. Something about it is so cozy and comforting, and those ones I feel like have been geared a little bit more towards Halloween, whereas this is definitely more towards Christmas, and I'm so excited because obviously there's a wedding involved and I love reading about weddings. The next book I have is Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I feel like this one was popular last year, but I never got my hands on it. I don't know why, but the title Wreck the Halls is so funny to me. Like, I love it. It's a sexy, wait, I don't know why I covered my mouth. I'm allowed to say that word. It's a sexy, hilarious, standalone holiday rom-com about the adult children of two former rock stars. I love a good rom-com. However, I will say Tessa Bailey has written some books that I don't really enjoy, like the Fix Her Up series and It Happened One Summer, that little duology. Not my favorite, just because her books are so steamy to the point where it's like, oh my god. And then the last one I have is another Tessa Bailey book. I don't know what I was thinking, but it is Window Shopping. I think they republished this with a new cover. I liked the other cover way better, but this one will do. A woman is window shopping and a man asks her how she likes the decorations, and she doesn't realize he's the one who owns the shop. This is a super short little book, under 300 pages, and I feel like it's the perfect length to get you in the Christmassy spirit without being irritating. Because I read a book last year called Something About Mary, and it was over 400 pages for a Christmas book. So many books. I hope you guys enjoyed my little book haul. If you have read any of these, please let me know your thoughts and opinions. As always, I struggle to figure out which books to start with, so your guys' opinions kind of help persuade me. I'll see you guys so soon with another Bookmas video. I hope we're enjoying Bookmas, and I love you guys. See you so soon in my next one. Bye.